I am here with Herbert Grönemeyer. We're backstage, and it's very exciting to have you here. Welcome to America, even though we're in Berlin, but welcome to the American TV audience.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So I have a friend of mine from Germany who lives in America, and he said before you, all the music was Schlager music. What does this mean, Schlager music?
Well, Schlager came from because of the past of the German history. We've been very nervous about music because music was used by the fascists for their game, for their nasty game. So we've been very nervous about lyrics. So the lyrics in the 50s and 60s and 70s been very, very based, very boring. It's very umta music. And then in the 80s we started slowly to become very political in one sense, but much more confident in writing lyrics. So that's maybe what he meant.
Ah, so and he was saying that a lot of your lyrics are very political. So you were speaking your mind in a lot of those early songs.
Yeah, but like Americans, like Bruce Springsteen or Dylan, or I come from that kind of era in a way. And especially the 80s being kind of anti-nuclear power demonstrations, and we had this kind of green movement in Germany, the Green Party growing up. So, but I think life is about also to if you have an opinion, say it. Don't think because you're popular you have to say to everything something, because I'm as stupid as every other person. But sometimes I have an opinion, and if I find the right one, I do it. I say it. Yes.
I think that's fair. That's because you're a poet and you're expressing yourselves in your lyrics.
Yes, at least I'm trying. Yes.
Now, another thing about your music, I think a lot of the rock and roll that the German community had been exposed to before was in English rock and roll.
Yes.
And you sang in German. Was that a risk at all to sing in German in the beginning?
It was definitely. I think the German confidence started in music and with the krautrock, with Arme Kraftwerk, and Arme in the 70s, very, very electronic music.
Okay.
And then in the 80s we started, like the English started it already in the 50s or 60s, or the Americans, but it took us longer. It took us longer to become more confident in the lyrics. So in the 80s, singing German was a big step. Yeah, it was a big step, but now it's very, very normal after the unification. So, but it was a bit of a risk, yes.
Huh. And why were you willing to do that?
Because I felt this is my language, and I try to dig out of this language as much as possible. I was quite of challenged to fight with the language as much, and finally I think I succeeded somehow.
And now this is your first album you're doing in English, I Walk, right? Is this your first?
We had an album in the late 80s, and we played Canada at that time, and it was in the charts in Canada. And I got a review in the New York Times at that time. We got 5 stars for the lyrics.
Wow.
And they said, the best lyrics of the year, but too complicated to understand, they said. So we tried very Germanic, very like an engineer. We tried to translate every line properly. And now we took it more easily. And I lived in England now for 13 years more, in London. And so we tried much more now to take it easy. But the song still kept the spirit, but we didn't try to be every line correctly translated.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to look at you and recognize you from Das Boot, which was so popular all over the world. And there you are, you're this leading man in this gigantic movie, Oscar nominated. And then I guess you had to decide between, you poor thing, movie star or rock star.
Yeah, it was a very difficult decision. It took me years. I asked all my friends. No, I started as a piano player in a theater. That's where I'm from. So I was always a singer. So that's how I started my career in the theater when I was 17. Before I finished school, I started as a piano player in a theater. And then they've been looking for the cast of the boat for young actors in Germany. They needed a lot of them. And that's how I acted in the theater, and then I worked in the movie as well. But ultimately, I think as a singer and songwriter, I think I feel more at home. So
do you do any more acting?
I did another new movie with Burt Lancaster and Julie Christie called Fathers and Sons. That was in the late 80s. And then I only been acting in my videos, actually. So.
Well, you're getting ready to go to the United States for a tour. I'm wondering if you've spent time there and what you like about America.
Well, I traveled I was in America. I mixed my last album in New York. And in the 80s, I traveled twice for 2 months, America. And I traveled from New York to the north, and then flew over to California. And the second time I traveled from Los Angeles up all the coast up to Canada, to the Rockies. And what I like about America is the spirit. I think the people have this kind of really, in a positive way, this wonderful, childish, positive look of life, and they want to go forward. And we Germans try to argue the whole time, discuss things. And the Americans, in a way, have this lovely attitude of, let's do it, enjoy it, have a smile. I think people are very friendly, very open-minded, with kids as well, very, very kind. And the space. I think what stays in your mind when you come back to Germany or to come back to Europe is this enormous space of this country, and also the space, I think, in the brain of the people. It's
in America.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like that. There's always, and also when I was there now last winter to mix my album, I think you always come back with you've been powered up by this attitude of go, and everybody is very, very kind and joyful and playful. Yeah,
Oh, that's a huge compliment. You've seen so many places and you've done so much. So thank you. That's a lovely
No,
thing
it's
to
true.
say.
It's not charming around. It's really, that's always, it fills you. And I made my two most successful albums after those trips in Germany in the 80s. It was always filled me up with a lot of energy and joy, I must say. And and I think that's the American spirit. I think that's exactly, and for me, that what describes the American spirit, this going forward. Also enjoying a personal, strong character who is individual, special, and so no, it's great. I love it a lot.
Anything on your to-do list for when you go back there that you'd like to see?
Well, I would love to see Middle America in a way. I would love to see Chicago, and I would like to go across. But actually, what everybody dreams about, to go once, take a car, maybe buy an. I have a Mustang here, but maybe buy an old car, old Buick or whatever, and travel the whole way. To go through via Texas or see New Mexico, and I know a little bit of Virginia, and no, I like it there. I really like it, and this will be on my list. And if we could travel that to playing concerts, even better. So if we could stop here and there, and somebody would show up to a concert, that we don't play on empty places everywhere. No, that's like a dream. It's like a child's dream, but I think that's exactly what America has. It fulfills children's dream, and hopefully we stay as a child till the end comes. So
You're singing some American type pop songs in this concert. I want to talk about them quickly. Always on My Mind. Why did you choose that? We all think of Elvis with that, and you've changed that song.
and I try to give it a little personal flavor. Yeah, and it's such a strong, kind of very male song in a way. I said it's this kind of, you were always on my mind, and sorry if I made you feel second best. Or it's this kind of bit of a with some fun in your eyes, a little bit of a macho song, but a great song, beautifully written, beautiful melody line, and and I always loved that song. And I love Elvis. I really love Elvis. I think his voice is one of those most unbelievable voices in history of music.
You are rocking on the letter, which we know from Joe Cocker, and you've taken this song and just really having fun with it. Why did you choose that one?
Yeah, because of Joe Cocker. That's exactly. I think Maddox and Englishman is, I think, one of the best live albums ever made, with Leon Russell on the piano, and I think I sang once with him actually. I sang with him on stage with Joe Cocker, and I tried in the beginning, and then a roadie took me off because they thought I'm a drunken fan or something. But finally, I made it back on stage. But he has an amazing voice. He's an amazing voice, and he's so deep into music, and this song is so joyful and playful, so I chose that because it's for me it's very 70s and great.
And then, Stuck in the Moment, and you're doing it with Bono. Is that like the coolest thing, to sing with Bono on stage?
Yeah, it is. I think yes, definitely. So I think that's like a dream comes true. I think that's very, very kind of him, and we worked a little bit together on this Make Poverty History theme for the Third World. I did the German department, but he's such a lovely person, and he came to the studio. He listened to when we've been working on the album, and gave us some ideas as well there. Very, very, and once he's into one thing, he's very strongly there, and he's a lovely gentleman. And then I asked him to also do a cover with me of my songs for the album, and he did that. And now he comes even here and sings with me. So yeah, that's like a dream comes true.
And like you're saying, when I was in the rehearsal watching you both, it's very interactive. There's a wonderful camaraderie between the two of you on stage, and you both love. You can see that you both love the music, even though you've sung these songs so many times. You both bring something new to it when you're together. It's fun.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
See.
That's what it's all about. If you have the opportunity to sing together, you have to try to enjoy that very moment. What you have to do generally, but no, with him it's very playful, and we had a few lovely nights together as well. Just been sitting around and having this Irish German whiskey drinking evenings, and he's such a lovely Celtic person, and he's very, very nice, very, very humorous, and full of stories, and singing with him is. And he said to me as well. He said our voices are very complementing each other so well, and I'm very, very, very pleased that he's here.
And it's wonderful that you two both work on so many philanthropic projects. Why is that important to be philanthropic?
I think, as I said before, you have to be careful that you don't take yourself too importantly. But sometimes I think in life, especially I remember in the early 2004 or 5, the whole topic of poverty in the world wasn't not existing. So we tried to dig that out, and at least I think the world gets closer and closer now. And I think we don't understand that we have to. Everybody's our neighbor now. You know, we even neighbors. The Germans are neighbors to America. Sounds a bit odd, but everything is influenced by the other.
Absolutely.
And so if we understand the world as neighborhood and neighborhoodship, then I think we can only live our lives in a lovely, a joyful way when we know that the neighbor can do that as well. And that's, I think, the whole logic behind it. And that makes, I think, that's for me is the idea of this century, that we moving closer together. That shouldn't scare us. Actually, should bring us a new energy and a new point of view of life, I think. And that's what we're sharing. I think we do it differently in everybody in his country, and he does it worldwide. I only do this in Germany. But I think at least this is also for the kids, to show the children, look at this more than only internet and shopping.
Mm-hmm. I want to just go back for a minute. Now the song Mensch that you did with Bono is going to be a bonus track on this new CD, right? On
Yes.
I Walk.
Yes.
So we'll get to hear it that way. We'll also hear it with just you, right? You'll be singing it on your own as well on the new CD. And that song came from the CD, Mensch, which was really a very pivotal time for you, right? That was when your first album that you came back to writing on after a dreadful time that you had. And I'm sorry to bring it up, but I think it says a lot about your music, what you went through.
Yeah, my brother and my wife just died in the same week in '98. Same in between 5 days. So and that was really a tough time, and I had 2 young kids, and I think we all go in life through tough time, but that was a difficult time, and so I tried to regain the spirit, the joy of writing music again. And this album, Mensch, was the first album that I wrote. 4 years later it came out, and especially the song Mensch is about actually the nice thing in these catastrophes, that you believe in human beings and friendship actually comes true, because definitely a lot of my friends carried me and my kids around and through this period of sadness, and that's what I tried to actually to say thank you with this song, to say, look, it's a pity that one person is missing, but on the other hand it's very nice that life shows you the lot of understanding and support you get from real friends, and that's the other nice thing that comes out of these weird times.
But I guess all of those, the tragedy and the emotions, you help other people to understand them through your own music. So in a way, that's, you've been able to use your music to help other people heal, which is
and I think it sounds, but I think bereavement and we all have losses in life, and not maybe so dramatically, or maybe not at that time, but generally we also have to deal with losses in life, and grief is something we have to learn to deal with it. And I think a lot of traumas in life also come that we try to be too strong to get over that, rather than taking enough time to let it heal. I think any trauma is like a wound in your soul. But we come from this Western world. We have to be strong. We have to go. But if we allow our friends and our family really to take time to get through this bereavement, then we can help friends and families, and that the soul can heal, and it takes time.
Like I said earlier, you're a poet, a rock and roll poet, and when we read those lyrics, it is very helpful, and they're beautiful, and it's a nice gift that you could share all that emotion with us. I heard you do an interview, which I just thought was so much fun, and in it somebody asked you, what's your favorite, what's the most important emotion? And you said caring. And I want to know what you care about. What
Well,
is
about friends and kids, and I think it's the same thing. If I've seen my friends or family smile, I think then life is fine.
Tell you, you are terrific. Thank you for spending
thank
so
you.
much time with us.
Thank you. No, it's a big pleasure to be with you and that you invited me. That's lovely. I'm really grateful for that. Thanks a lot.
Well, we love having you here. Now you've met him. It's Herbert Grönemeyer. He's going to be the newest hit in the United States.
Thank
you, darling.
Thanks a lot.